The first section in Chapter 3 is titled Graphs and Writing Inequalities. So let's refresh what different inequalities mean. We have the less than symbol pointing to the left, the greater than symbol which points to the right. We have less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. When we're graphing inequalities on a number line, you do not have to write all this down, just make sure that maybe you make some notes, especially about the third and the fourth one. So remember that the further left your number is, the smaller its value actually is. And when we graph on a number line, we want to make sure that our variable is on the left-hand side of the inequality. It will make shading a lot easier. We use a closed dot on the number line with less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. That means that the point's included. We use an open dot with less than and greater than. This means that the point is not included. And then we want to shade in the appropriate direction, and we'll follow the arrow. If you think of the inequality symbol as an arrow, it kind of points in the direction that you shade, so long as your variable is on the left-hand side. So you'll hear me say that a lot in this video. And then also when multiplying or dividing by a negative, don't forget we need to flip the inequality sign. So let's graph the inequality. We have a less than -1. The first thing we would want to check is that the variable is in fact, or the inequality is in fact solved for the variable, and here it is. So we're at -1 on the number line. The first question is, are we including -1 or are we not including -1? And we look at the symbol. If it's just a less than or greater than, we are not including -1, so we're going to have an open circle. And then the question is, which way do we shade? Well, as long as the variable is on the left-hand side of the inequality, we are going to shade in the direction, think of the inequality symbol as pointing to the left, which means we shade this way. Or you could think of it that a is less than -1, so we should be shading this direction, all numbers that are less than -1. Okay, example 2. 3n is greater than or equal to -9. Again, we want our inequality always solved for the variable, so first we need to divide both sides by 3. Remember that solving inequalities is really just like solving equations. -9 divided by 3 is -3, so we have n is greater than or equal to -3. So we're graphing -3 on the number line. This time we are including -3. Ask yourself, why am I coloring that circle in? Because it's a greater than or equal to. Whenever it has the line underneath it, that means we are going to include -3. And which way are we shading this time? Well, you can see that the symbol is kind of pointing to the right, or we're shading all the numbers that are greater than -3 or larger than -3, so that would be this direction. Okay, number 3 is 2 squared minus 4 is greater than or equal to w. First we need to clean up the left-hand side. This is just some computation. 2 squared is 4. So we have 4 minus 4 is greater than or equal to w. 4 minus 4 is 0, so we have 0 greater than or equal to w. But you'll remember that I like to have the variable on the left-hand side. That makes shading a little bit easier. So I am going to rewrite this. Notice the flip of the symbol when I rewrite the statement. The symbol, the greater than or equal to symbol, it's pointing at the w. So when I rewrite it, I still need it to be pointing at the w. It originally said 0 is greater than or equal to w. Now it says w is less than or equal to 0. That is saying the same thing. So notice the sign flip there. And I only did that again for rearranging or for shading purposes. So if you don't want to rearrange it, you don't have to. So do we include 0? Yes, we do. It's a less than or equal to symbol. And now which direction do I shade? My symbol is pointing to the left, so I'm going to shade to the left. I want all values that are less than 0. So you can see them here on the left. Let's look at some examples that go the other way. So now we have the graph, and we need to write the inequality statement. So some things we need to look at. Which way are we shading? And which symbol are we using? Do we need the or equal to portion of the inequalities or not? So here we have any variable you can use. We have x and we have -2. I need to know, is it less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to? Well, first you can see we have the open circle, so that's definitely going to be less than or greater than. And since my variable is on the left, which way is my shading? My shading's going to the left, so my symbol can point to the left. The inequality for this graph would be x is less than -2. You need to make sure you're understanding, why did I not put the line underneath it? Because this is open. And why did I pick less than versus greater than? Because of the way the shading goes, we want values less than -2. Try this one on your own, see if you can write the inequality for the graph. Again, I'm going to use x and 3. We are including 3, and we are shading to the right, so it's a greater than or equal to. X is greater than or equal to 3. And for the last few examples, we're just writing inequalities for the situation. So how do we say the speed limit is 65? Think about speed limits for a minute. It's a limit, which means you are not supposed to go any higher than that. So we would say the speed limit, we'll call it x, is less than or equal to 65. You can go 65. You shouldn't go any higher. Your job pays at least $500 a month. At least $500 means it might pay more than that, but $500 is the minimum. So this is going to be a greater than or equal to 500. If your job pays at least $500 a month, your salary, or what it pays you, is greater than or equal to 500. In class, we will work on worksheet 3.1.